After a few weeks off, a new Keep an Eye on It returns. The video where I talk about RPGs and strategy games usually still in development and not accessible, with some exceptions here and there, usually dedicated to indie games and AAA games. But before starting this showcase, please remember to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also consider supporting us through our member program, Patreon page, Buy Me a Coffee page. Lots of perks and mystery box awaits you. Anyway, let's go! There are a lot of Hearthstone-like digital card games in the market nowadays, so to really stand out in that field, a game needs a little something extra. Destiny's Divide, the upcoming title from Phobia, might just have what it takes. While its fantasy creatures and magical artifacts are nothing new, Destiny's Divide offers several intriguing game mechanics that should pique the interest of any card games fans. While the game will have 11 playable heroes at launch, there are no restrictions regarding which cards a hero can have in their deck. Instead, players will need to look for synergies to best leverage their hero's strengths. Further complexity is added by the heroic being and the shared board mechanics. These are just a few of the exciting mechanics being introduced in Destiny's Divide. The game is free to play and will be released in August 2022 on Steam. Arakion is an impressive solo project that has been in early access since 2018, inspired by first-person RPGs like Grimrock or Might and Magic or Bard's Tale. It has a vibrant world to explore and lots of customization available. Your party of free adventurers is built from the ground up at the beginning of the campaign, allowing you to choose not only a race and class for your heroes, but also their birthplace, unique traits and skills. From there, they grow and progress solely based on the choices you make rather than by the experience points. Chock full of crafting, puzzles and minigames, Arakion even has a town building subgame. The game is set to release in chapters, so curious players who become fans will have plenty to look forward to as Arakion continues to grow. The developer has stated that they intend to take their time and create the best game possible rather than rush to the ship, but this is definitely a case where good things are worth waiting for. On Steam. If you preferred the combat of old-school Fire Emblem but enjoy the romances and character relationships of the newer titles in the series, Walk with the Living is a perfect balance between the two. Following a quest to bring a famous knight back from the dead, Walk with the Living merges unforgiving permadeath with depth, characters and meaningful relationships. Romance isn't the only outcome of characters' interaction either, which can be a welcome change if you would rather see game tone down the thirst. Walk with the Living takes an approach to permadeath that should honestly be standard, rather than just vanishing from the game or inexplicable sticking around despite a mortal injury. Dead characters are remembered by their comrades. Dialogue options will change depending on who lives and who dies, as with potential relationship between characters and even who is and is not recruitable. The result is a massively branching story path that should keep us RPG fans engaged for a long time. On Steam.
Wake up, sleeper. Dreaming again?
This beautifully illustrated sci-fi RPG could be the complete package when it comes to storytelling. Set on a decrepit space station, Citizen Sleeper casts the player in the role of a human consciousness uploaded into a robot body. While the station descends into chaos and anarchy in the wake of its parent corporation collapse, someone in the Earthless capitalist galaxy still consider the robot and the person inside it to be their property.
Wake up, sleeper.
With several classes and skills and a wide array of characters to meet, just the preview images of Citizen Sleeper feel like flipping through an exciting new tabletop RPG rulebook. The game promises a range of choices that make it feel like playing a tabletop RPG, so with that analogy in mind, we can't wait to grab a dice and explore the new universe that developer Jump Over the Age has created. The game has a planned release date sometimes in 2022, so the wait is nearly over, on Steam and GOG.
Access their secrets. We are waiting.
The sequels to 2015's Ultimate Space Commando USC Counterforce continues the story as the player lead their soldiers to eliminate an alien threat. The gameplay from the original is largely intact, with improvements being made to the graphic and the user interface as well as new combat mechanics being added. The campaign boasts multiple endings and semi-randomized encounters, allowing for new challenges and surprises with each playthrough. Even if you didn't play the original game, Counterforce is certainly worth a look. Customizing both your troops and your base of operation determines how you will perform in battle, and fully destructible environments are always fun. USC Counterforce is expected to enter early access in Q2 of 2022 on Steam. Here at Turnbased Lovers, we recently shared a list of games like the immortal Final Fantasy Tactics. As you might expect, those games have swords and magic in abundance. What if a game brought that isometric turn-based gameplay to modern Battlefield? Rejoice, military nerds, for Rifle Storm has the answer. While Rifle Storm is technically a roguelike rather than an SRPG, the combat is straight out of Final Fantasy Tactics. In each run, the player leads their squad through a randomly generated region of the Middle East, interacting with locals, fighting insurgents, and ultimately capturing an enemy bunker. Swords and axes are replaced with automatic weapons, and fire spells are replaced with grenade launchers. If this sounds like it could be up your alley, you won't have to wait long. Rifle Storm is set to release in February 2022 on Steam. The newest title from Tasty Studios feels like the heroes of Wildermyth found themselves as Burning Man and came back with some truly wild stories. In Forever and Ever, each playable hero is procedurally generated to be almost completely unique. The game claims there are over 5 billion possible characters. These heroes have their own backstories, preferences, hopes and dreams. How they interact with one another and the relationships they form are critical to gameplay. This isn't a traditional fantasy romp, from rockstar gunslingers to party zombies to gardening robots. Forever and Ever has characters that you aren't going to find anywhere else. If you wish your SRPGs came with a healthy dose of weirdness, buckle up, Forever and Ever is coming in 2022 on Steam. Alina of the Arena bills itself as Slay the Spire meets Into the Breach. That's bold but fitting claim to make, and developer Phoenix is well on its way to pulling it off. Entering early access on the 19th of January and scheduled for a full release sometime around Q2 of 2022, Alina of the Arena challenges players to manage their position on the battlefield as well as their hand. Dodges and knockbacks are crucial, especially since the player controls only the titular Alina. If she died, it's game over. The constantly changing situation and the ability to swap Alina's equipment on the fly promises dynamic gameplay and fast-paced decision-making. As you might expect from a game based around arena combat, there are showers of blood and gold aplenty as well. Of the many games that claim inspiration from Slay the Spire, this is definitely one to watch on Steam. Kriegsfront Tactics brings an alternate history sci-fi spin to one of the most costly and consequential conflicts on the 20th century. Players will recruit pilots and customize their war machines as mechas stomp across the battlefields of Vietnam. While not the setting you'd expect from a game called Kriegsfront Tactics, it's neat to see mecha reimaginings of wars other than the First and Second World Wars for once. While serious history people might want to sit this one out, everyone else can enjoy stomping through the jungles of Southeast Asia in hardware worthy of BattleTech. There is no planned release date as yet, to be sure, to follow Kriegsfront Tactics on Steam. Knights of Chalice was originally released in 2009 using the Open Game license for Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. After a successful Kickstarter campaign, the sequel is coming soon. If you long for days of level adjustments and meta magic combos, don't fret. Knights of Chalice 2 will continue to use the 3.5 rule set as its base. There are plenty of improvements to the original, however, namely the enemy EA will be much smarter with foes able to coordinate and fight effectively in groups.
We're doomed.
Knights of Chalice 2 also has a slew of challenging, unique battles from underwater skirmishes to desperate fights for survival in the throes of a death snare. Put it all together, an heroic fantasy games as an epic in the making. On GOG. This episode ends here. Let me know what you think about these 10 turn-based RPGs and strategy games, and if I managed to scratch an itch or two. Don't forgive the written version of this video on turnbasedlovers.com, and don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also consider supporting us through our member program Patreon page, Buy Me a Coffee page. Lots of perks and mystery box awaits you. Wish you the best, ciao!